Hello, Dale.
All right, Olivia, you're there. Okay.
Oh, wow.
It
Hello.
is it is great to meet you.
Likewise.
All right. So, I learned about you because, we interview some similar people, and I get Sarge Guilfoyle's email every day, and he shows a lot of appearances that he does with you. And, my main question as I look at what you do now, it's interesting to me to let me take you back to your college days. And, back then we're all thinking about what we're going to do for the rest of our life that turns out to be maybe different and a long and winding road to where we are now. What were your dreams and goals back then, and what led you to being a financial reporter?
It seems that both hard work and fate has been the builders of where I am now. I've always seen myself in broadcast media,
Okay.
but it was a freak accident ending up in finance and on Wall Street.
I'd like to hear about it.
Sure. So I went to school for international relations.
Okay.
And through connections, I was presented an awesome job on Wall Street as a sales assistant after school. So that's how I got into finance, and I had to learn it all at my job.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. So that was kind of like, was that an internship that you were doing for a brokerage house or something like that?
No, it wasn't an internship. It was a full-on signing bonus sales assistant position.
Oh, wow. So, yeah, great. So you had to become licensed, Series 7, right, to do that?
Yes, I had to become licensed, and yep.
So you're the person you were an assistant for was also your mentor, and you probably learned a lot from that person. Talk to us about the evolution, about how you learned how markets work, and was it through this job? Was it through finding books that influenced you, or watching financial content on CNBC and Bloomberg? How did you learn about the markets? Because sales assistants and even brokers, a lot of brokers, they're mainly sales guys and asset collectors. Some of them are very good traders, but a lot of them are just, bringing in assets and deploying them according to what the firm thinks is the right structure for a portfolio. How did you verse yourself in, stocks and bonds and commodities, and how they all interacted with each other?
To be honest, I learned most of that as a reporter than a sales assistant.
Okay.
Basically, yes. Listen, I have to interview really smart guys and girls, so I had to extend my knowledge in the bond market, stock market, and that's when I really delved into watching CNBC and reading the Wall Street Journal and following markets. And now I've recently found a passion for technical analysis.
Okay. Do you trade?
I have traded in the past, yes.
Okay.
So I'm familiar.
Go ahead. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. So, that's interesting. I came about it a little differently. I was the guy you were asking the questions to. So finally, for many years, and the last several, I thought to myself, sometimes getting frustrated, knowing that the guest had, great ideas and great content, that sometimes the interviewer wasn't asking the questions I wanted to know the answers to. So I decided, who better to ask the questions than someone who's been answering them. And, so for me, and like you just said, what you do with your guests is what I call intelligence gathering for your viewers. You're providing content and ideas that may offer opportunities for them in the market. Is that your goal? on every interview with your guests is to get something that might be actionable for your listeners?
Exactly. Whatever can make them money or protect their money.
Okay. So tell me who your favorites are. Your
Oh, come
go-to
on. I
guys.
don't have
You don't have the time?
I'm on,
Okay. I won't say favorites. Who's your specialist in stocks? Would it be Sarge?
I would say Stephen Guilfoyle. He was
Okay.
my first interviewee, and he
Great guy.
from there we've made a show together.
Mm-hmm.
We've had really exciting times.
Okay, and do you have any kind of go-to person for the commodity market? You know, if you want to know what's happening, go ahead.
I would like to invite you on the show for that, because I've been looking for a good Forex and commodity guy.
Oh, well, gosh, you know, then I'll call this fate or providence. And I guarantee you it really wasn't the motive, because I thought it'd be interesting to talk about how do you prepare yourself for each day, and do you love doing this stuff on the floor? I mean, my background's from the CME, and I know the exchanges are not as great as they used to be, as far as how populated they are. But do you love being on the floor?
Absolutely. The floor is magic. Just seeing the community with the traders there, and they each have something different to offer. I interview traders all throughout the week, and some are very colorful, like someone like Peter Tuchman. He's the most photographed man at the New York Stock Exchange. I'm sure you're familiar with him. They call him the New York Stock Exchange Einstein. Then we have someone like Jonathan. Yes. Then we have someone like Jonathan Corpina, who I'm interviewing later today, who's very honest and down to earth, and he's more of a long-term perspective.
Okay. When you're on the floor, do you notice times when things get real busy? And you know, a lot of people say that there are certain times during the day when Wall Street is more active, and you know, then there's that quiet period where everyone goes to lunch, tries to find a lunch special. They had, you know, $50,000 swings, $100,000 swings on the floor, but they'll go somewhere to save $10 on lunch. Do you notice that things slow down a certain period of the day, and things are more active near the open and the close?
Listen, when I'm on the floor, there's always action. I'll make it happen.
All right. Well, it's interesting. How were you handling periods of high volatility where a lot of people were kind of throwing up their hands? There was mini panic. How do you keep your viewers stable when things are becoming unstable? And are your guests kind of the balance for them not to overreact to what's happening on a day-to-day basis?
Yes, I mean we've all been there where there's heightened volatility and we don't know how to handle it. And I was getting, I could just understand the fear even through the Twitter feeds, and I was getting a lot of questions. But I thought that it could how to handle that and actually turn it into opportunity. That's where I started grabbing someone like Stephen Guilfoyle. He's amazing in the option market, for instance, or someone who has a lot of knowledge how to handle that.
And where do you broadcast your shows? I've had links to see your stuff. Is it live anywhere so people could watch it?
We do go live on Mondays. We do more of a business-oriented talk show. It's called Bloodies and Bagels, where we have Bloodies Marys and bagels and talk about the business gossip of the week, if you will. And then my interviews are all conducted in or outside the New York Stock Exchange and our office on Wall Street.
Oh, good. So you have a studio set up to do that show. Nice.
Absolutely.
All right, nice. So let me ask you this. What's the biggest lesson you've learned covering the markets and speaking to professionals these years as a news reporter? What's your major takeaway that you hear from everybody?
You mean a lesson about the markets, or how to,
Yeah, well,
in terms of engaging?
I think the markets are a lot like life. So, in fact, I
Mm-hmm.
think sometimes they're a metaphor for life. So, a lot of things that, being in the market and trading, you could have charts and everything, but it's my belief 90% of it's in your head. So,
Mm-hmm.
Something about psychology or an important lesson you learned while you were trading. Most people will say control risk. What would you say?
Don't be stubborn.
Oh my God,
If
that is,
some,
you know me. All right. All right. So have you been stubborn?
well, it's not a quality I like to brag about, but we've
Okay.
all been there. We've all been stubborn, especially with our money. If we really believe in something,
Yeah.
if it's not working, just get out.
Okay. Well, you know what? That's a lesson I've had to learn a few times. A friend of mine would say, Dale, how many times do you have to get hit in the head with a ball peen hammer to know it hurts? So that is great. You know what? I think everyone listening to this interview or watches it later on video should write that down next to their trading station. Don't be
Mm-hmm.
stubborn. And I'll tie that in with W.D. Gann's. I would call it one of his famous sayings is, "You have to learn to change your mind, or you won't have any change left." So don't be stubborn. It's a one mistake business. Don't make it. Olivia, really nice to talk to you, and I really love your broadcasts, and I watch them mainly on videos, but I'm going to try and catch you live, and I'll grab a bagel with cream cheese, throw a little lox on there with a tomato and onion with my Bloody Mary for your next show.
Oh, perfect. Yes, we'll absolutely have you on Bloodies and Bagels or sometime on the show. It'd be wonderful.
Well, I tell you what, like it or not, you're now my trading warrior sister and fellow host, interviewer, and it was a pleasure to talk to somebody who works hard. People think it's easy just to have a conversation with somebody, but to keep the flow going and to make it interesting and fun. Don't you think that you also have to have fun doing this? And I could tell you love it. Am I right?
You are 100% right. I love it. It's a growing love. It's such a wonderful experience, and I like making it fun and interesting always for people. However they can make money, I'll get it at you guys. I promise.
Okay, well, I'll take that promise to heart, and I know that you're out there doing your best to dig out great ideas for your viewers. I hope that your
Mm-hmm.
viewership grows like a mushroom and continues to expand, and your audience expand, Olivia. And really nice to meet you, and thank you for taking time out of your busy day to hang out with us on F.A.C.E for a little while.
Absolutely. Thank you for inviting me. This was really interesting for me to be on the other side of the mic.
Okay, well, see, could be a new niche for you. Is that you're learning every day as you try and help your viewers learn,
Mm-hmm.
and as that continues to go on, your expertise grows. So I guarantee you, this will not be the last time you're on the other side of the mic. So thank you for your maiden voyage with us on the other side of the mic. It was a pleasure interviewing you, Olivia.
Thank you. Thank you again.
Okay, good hunting, my trading warrior sister. Say hello to Sarge and all the guys, and keep in touch, okay? And
will do. Thank you.
And Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Yes, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And guys, check me out on Twitter. I don't have a reel, but I have the real stuff there at Olivia B. Voz.
Got your Twitter handle. You're up there, and this interview will be tweeted out there later today, Olivia. Thank you, and have
Cool.
a great holiday season.
Thank you. You too.
All right, everyone. That's Olivia Voznenko. You could follow her on Twitter at Olivia B Voz, and you could catch her on her website here. Here's her handle right here. She's on her car phone. So thank you, Olivia. Here you go. Don't trade and drive. I'll let you interview. I hope you pulled over, but maybe you didn't. You're a multitasker, and
I could do anything.
all right. There's an attitude, and her website's Voz News, where she has a lot of her content. If you miss it live, there are lots of great recordings and contents with Sarge and Olivia's crew. So that's it for Turnaround Tuesday, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day. Good hunting, and remember, don't just count your pips, count your blessings. I will be off tomorrow. I'm going to be observing the National Day of Mourning, but you know, we have a great team here. So this webinar will go on, and I'll see everyone on Thursday. Adios. Thank you again, Olivia.
Adios.